Patrick from MetalManiacs.com. Pleasure speaking to the one and only Blasko from the Ozzy Osbourne Band. What's going on?
Just hanging out, man.
Cool, man. So far, how's the new year?
You know, just getting through it. You know, just kicking it up and getting ready to rock.
Well, as far as you've been involved with major music bands to watch you, I guess you start through your history with Danzig and Prong and Ozzy. How pretty much did it all start out?
Well, it started, started, I guess, just like anybody else starts. You know, they get an instrument and get in a band and, do the thing. I don't suppose that was any different in my situation. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it all started. Just like anybody else.
Just playing drums and guitar and kind of progressing over to bass and pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really play guitar all that much. I mean, I basically just started on drums and then that didn't work out so well. It's like you're living in confined areas. That was that was back in the day before electronic drum kits and stuff. It was like if you were going to play drums, shit was going to be loud. So that didn't work out so well. So so I ended up just playing bass instead. So that was pretty much it.
Cool. As far as what's the most challenging band you think you've been in? From Prong to Danzig to Rob Zombie to Ozzy, any of them kind of was kind of like took a while to catch on to or to put together?
Well, I mean, I was in Cryptic Slaughter before any of that. I started off in 1985 or whatever with Cryptic Slaughter. We got a record deal with Metal Blade, and we put out 3 records from 1986 through 1988 on Metal Blade Records, and we toured and did all that stuff. And I was really young. We were all in high school and stuff. So that's kind of where the real history starts. Back 24 or 5 years ago. And stuff, but I kind of don't remember what the question was, though.
That's what the challenging, like in any band, particularly that kind of every night you got on stage, it was like a challenge to, I guess, to keep up or to, as far as the writing.
You wouldn't be getting up there if you didn't know what you were doing,
True. And like being a drummer and going to a bass player, you think you have any, like, is there kind of approach as far as music goes? I can't, it's hard to speak for anybody else, other than myself. And I think for me, it was beneficial going from drums to bass in terms of understanding the mechanics of drums and their role in the situation in terms of, the kick drum and the snare drum and where those sit and what their role is in terms of rhythm. It's not just, bass guitar isn't just, following what the guitar is doing note-wise or in the key. Obviously that's part of it, but there's obviously a big mechanic in locking down the rhythm of the song too. And I think for me, having that drum background was helpful in understanding that. Yeah,
it would be hard to go backwards. Yeah, it would be hard to go backwards. It'd be hard to understand it without ever doing it,
Yeah. All right, man, the big thing right now is karaoke.
Yeah, that all got shut down.
It get shut down?
Yeah, I actually had some pretty unfortunate things go down in my personal life towards the end of December, and I had to prioritize, and that just was something that couldn't happen at the time that it was supposed to happen at, and so canceled all the shows and just kind of put an indefinite hiatus on it.
Oh, okay, all right. I respect that. Cool deal. Ozzy's new album, is all the writing finished up with that, or?
Yeah, it's one of those things like you never know. You can write and you can rewrite and you can re-record and you can remix and you can do all these things whenever you own your own studio, and so until there's a deadline of like the record label says we need the record done on this date because we need this much time to set it up, and we're going to put it out and we're going to put it out in a time that's going to coincide with the tour, until that deadline comes,
no matter who you are, you'll keep working on the record. You'll keep tweaking it, and going back and forth, and you'll do all that. So, as far as I know, I mean, it's getting closer to being done. But I mean, like I said, I haven't heard of that deadline yet either. So until that deadline comes in, I mean, assumably it's just going to keep getting tweaked.
Yeah, and all the songwriting on the album, did Gus write all the songs, or is that some of still Zach's songs, or all that was washed away? So I talked to Zach in April, and they were laying down tracks. And
yeah,
I mean, all this went on, and now there's Gus G in place.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like there's a lot of material there to choose from. So what ends up making it on the record, is whatever that's going to be.
Okay. Cool. Any thoughts on the whole Gus G and Zach thing? I know a lot of times you like to comment about that. It's nobody control except for their stuff. Gus G's writing style, from what you heard so far, writing style, some good stuff, or?
Yeah, I mean, no real comment on any of that. I mean, they're both great dudes, and they're both great players, and what will be what will be.
Yep, cool. Affliction, man, clothing line. Any more new series coming out this year? I know you did the one shirt that they did for you.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna do another shirt. I mean, who knows? Maybe, but haven't really talked about it. Kind of just more or less just planning out the year. We're gonna be at NAMM next weekend. We've got a booth over there, and just kind of planning out some things to do. Through the course of the year. I mean, they've sort of got the clothing thing handled. My role over there is a little bit different. So, just trying to come up with some new and interesting ways to, market the brand.
Yeah, and as far like Affliction, you work as like the PR to the musicians, or?
That's a good way to put it. It's sort of like a music liaison, and it's just kind of a a marketing role. I'm sort of more or less just part of the marketing team, but there's a lot of facets of the company in terms of mixed martial arts or extreme sports, or I handle the music, the rock and roll music division of it, or whatever. Other guys handle other different facets of the marketing.